Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host, Lee Zimmerman, and I'm here with my co-host, producer, and technical genius. I think Billy wrote that in. Billy
Good
Hubbard. And today we're really excited to have Mr. Bruce Sudano joining us. Bruce, as some of you may know, wrote just lots and lots of hit songs throughout the years, several of them for his late wife, Donna Summer, and several for other people. And in recent years, he's embarked on a solo career, which has proved very, very fruitful. Hey, Bruce, how are you?
I'm good, Lee. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Now, we're catching you in Italy, are we not?
I am in Milano.
Milano.
In northern Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm here. I live here part of the time. I remarried an Italian woman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I live kind of between Milan and L.A. and the road, whenever the road returns.
Whenever the road returns. And
that's the title for you, Billy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And are you just spoiled by the cuisine in Italy?
I have to say I am. But northern Italian food is different than southern Italian food. I'm genetically Italian. I'm Italian American, but my genes are from southern Italy. So the common Italian food that most people know of, tomato sauce and and all that. It's different up in the north. It's a bit lighter. It's a little more fishy in a different kind of way. It's a different menu that I wasn't used to, and it took me a minute to acquire a taste for it because I was used to the other version. But now I really like it very much, and it is pretty healthy.
Are you cooking? Do you cook yourself now?
Oh yeah, I make hamburgers once a week.
Oh well, that's great.
And,
that's really authentic Italian. That's
and
good.
I also grill chicken breast.
Well, you've really assimilated into the culture. Now. That's great, Bruce. Good to hear. You've really.
Yeah.
That's all I've eaten the last week.
Yeah, that's. I guess we ate Italian. Billy and I were out on a boat the other day and cooking hamburgers, and so I guess we were eating Italian. I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, according to me.
Yes, according to you. So Bruce, you have an amazing career, and it goes back to so many monumental pieces of music. You took part in, the film soundtracks alone. Thank God It's Friday, American Hot Wax, Hollywood Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My career is amazing to me, if you want to use that word in this way, that I've been blessed to have a long career in a way, and I've been blessed along the way to stumble into the right room at the right time. There was a lot of luck involved, but, the thing is you got to show up. So I just was young and hungry and aggressive and started early chasing it. And like I say, every now and then I got lucky. It's not like I've had a lot of hits or but I've had a few good ones, and I've been involved in like you said, some great movies and things like that. And I had a great band in the '70s called Brooklyn Dreams, and we had a really nice run. And my first band, Alive and Kicking, in 1970, we had a hit, and thanks to my buddy Tommy James, who was my early songwriting mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And then when, Donna passed away in 2012, after years of being on the road with her and singing background and writing songs, for other people and whatever. I just found myself in a position where I just decided, if I intended to, carry on with my life, I had to stand up, get out of the corner, and carry on. And so that's when I kind of began this solo iteration of what I'm doing now. And I'm about 5 CDs into it, and still trying to get better. Still trying to get better. I feel my strength is as a songwriter, but I'm still trying to find, make that perfect record and keep writing great songs and keep getting better as a songwriter and get better as a performer. That's the other thing of like having to play live and keep an audience engaged. So all of those things I've set on that road of now for myself, and hopefully I'm getting better in each of them. But that's where I am.
Well, you have a great foundation because you wrote songs for the Jacksons and Dolly Parton and of course Donna, and folks would definitely know some of these songs like Bad Girls and Heaven Knows, huge hits. So you were the genius behind them. So it's a good foundation. No. I got it wrong.
No.
Did it? No.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like something like Bad Girls.
I flubbed, and that's the flub sound effect. Yeah.
No, the thing is, it's like something like Bad Girls. It was like we used to write a lot. We'd go in the studio, turn on the mics, roll tape, and just stream of consciousness, flow stuff, and Bad Girls was just something that came out of one of those sessions. But whenever there's any kind of success on that kind of level, there are so many different elements, at play. The record company, the promotion, the artwork, the mastering, the mix, the time the record comes out. There's so much chemistry that goes into a hit record. It's like many stars aligning and for it to happen, and there's a lot of talented people. Donna had great people around her, Georgia Moroder and people like
Yeah.
She had a great engineer who never gets mentioned, but Jürgen Koppers was an amazing engineer. You listen to those records now, and they're just still clean and punchy and sharp, and they sound great. And, great arrangers. Keith Forsey was the drummer. Keith, who went on to produce Billy Idol among other people, but he was the drummer, and it was a great bunch of talented people, and then you had Casablanca Records and Neil Bogart, and Neil was his own, ball of energy, and he was a believer, and he put it all on the line for what he believed in, and so when you have success, there's a lot of people and a lot of talent and a lot of good fortune at play.
Well, you're being very magnanimous, but it all starts with the song. I mean, if you don't have a good song, it's you're handicapped.
I was going to say, you was mentioning the big productions. I mean, if you have like you've been doing, Bruce, and I know you're there, but I've seen some major artists when you strip them down to just them and their acoustic guitar. And I won't name any names, but you really got something if you can just pull off a good song with you and your guitar.
Yeah, and Bruce, that's kind of what you're doing now. I mean, not obviously you have other embellishment, but you've taken the transition now to making it you and you being center stage. And I'm curious, was that you said that you had to readjust? Was it a difficult transition from sort of being behind the scenes to now being front and center?
It wasn't a difficult transition. It was a difficult time in my life when I made the transition.
Right.
But in a sense, because I just feel like all things are, purposeful in its own way, and I kind of throughout my life have been leading up to this moment. It's just really something that I kind of was afraid to do. And because I had excuses not to do it, by, singing with Donna or writing songs for other people. And, it wasn't my time to do it. That's really what I believe, I made my first solo album in 1980. It was off that record that Starting Over Again was on that Dolly Parton ended up recording.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, I had just left Brooklyn Dreams and I was stepping out on my own. But I ended up getting married that year and, Donna was pregnant and we had 2 kids back to back. And, I just, the signs were showing me that if I wanted to, it wasn't time for me to do that. It was like, I was happy to just sit back and say, my family is important and, she's going to be the star in the family. And because she is the star in the family, Donna was she was a bright star, so I was happy, I settled into that role really well. And we were married for almost 32 years. We were together 35 years. But, there was always a desire for me to step out on my own. It was in me for basically my whole life, but I was afraid. So when I ran out of excuses because, Donna was like, okay, Bruce, you're on your own, and there's just something, I mean, she knew it as well. It's like, because, even before she got sick, when our youngest daughter went off to college, she kept saying to me, it's your time now. I want you to do you, and I was like, well, I'm fine. I'm doing me, but so anyway, circumstances brought me, hit that laugh button. We need a joke.
All right. Well, wait a minute. First, how about that? Some applause and affirmation for you.
You were multi-instrumentals, what I had read somewhere that you started out, did you start on the guitar? Or was it? Oh, it was a squeeze box. I call it the squeeze box.
That's right.
That's surprising.
Squeeze box.
I always thought it'd be cool to play one of those. There's so much, sounds so fun.
The Who song,
yeah.
Mama's Got a Squeeze Box. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Double entendre.
Yeah, there you go. So people might be a bit surprised to hear your solo material is more in the realm of the singer-songwriter. They may know you more for the music you did with Donna, which was dance and up-tempo and soulful and disco. So do you see a disparity in that, or is that just part of a continuum?
Well, here's the thing, and this gets back to what we were saying before about the song. For me, it's always about writing a good song. So, now in my set, I do Bad Girls, and I do an acoustic version of it because that's how that song was written.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the guy with the acoustic guitar. Or a piano, I don't write as much on piano these days as I used to, but yeah, so it comes down to the song and I'm being that guy now. And it's really interesting because if you can, I find that I continue to get better at what I do. I've written good songs along the way, but
your music videos I've been seeing lately, I hadn't caught all of them, but I saw the art. I really like the way those are done. It's kind of unique and it works well with your songs. I wish I could.
Yeah, well, that's Billy. That's another aspect of how I approach things now. Is I try to find other talented people who are really good and creative at what they do. And I collaborate with them on some aspect of my music. And the video being the primary example of that. You know, I have a new record coming out called Ode to a Nightingale. I think the first song is going to debut the first week in August. And that song is called In Shadowland. And, you know, in Shadowland, I write vibe, you know, I write, you know, In Shadowland is kind of like an illusionary kind of song. The lyric is kind of illusionary. You can't really put your finger on what the song is saying. You know, it gives you a feeling, and you realize it has something to do with, you know, your inner soul and life and all that. But so I did this video with an Italian visual artist whose name is Furio Gans, and we used a young Italian actress, and we also partnered with this guy who does digital, you know, imagery within video, you know, and we combined, you know, with Furio directing, you know, we combined a whole bunch of different elements to create a pretty interesting video. You know, it's always a challenge, you know, because so much has been done, and, you know, it is what it is. And you know, you really wonder if anybody really cares, but, you know, it's like part of your commitment to your art, to whatever aspect you know, approach, that you try and do the best you can. And that's, you know, that's what I try to maintain.
I thought it was pretty captivating. And you had one, I'm sorry, it's been a while since I saw it, but it was lighthearted too. And it was one where you were spinning around, and it was
lighthearted. Wait a minute. Sorry. There's that laughter button.
There you go. You know, there are these other videos that I do where I have kind of like a Super Bruce character.
It was Super Bruce. You know, that's what it was.
Oh, it's the Super Bruce.
I think that's what you're referring to.
I have the bobblehead of that. I got the bobblehead of the Super Bruce. Yeah.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
I really like that.
Yeah. So and I do those with an animator whose name is Elliot Mason out of the UK. And Elliot and I met on tour. I was on tour with Colin Blunstone, you know, the fall before lockdown.
Of the Zombies.
And, And Elliot is Colin's bass player. So we were on the road together, and I found out that he, you know, started showing me these little animations, and I was like, man, we got to work together on one of my songs. So I've actually done 3 of them with him now already.
So did he actually show up? Because, you know, the Zombies, he's not there. So, yeah, wait a minute.
That gets the other button, Billy.
Yeah,
I thought we did that one.
Well, you didn't have this ladder up there.
Oh, wait a minute. All right, so
he's in training.
All right, I am in training. Sorry. But I did warn you, Bruce. I did warn you before.
Yes.
So maybe we should play a little bit of that song there.
Yeah.
The Ode to a Nightingale. Can we play a little of that? Maybe?
Yeah, let's check
the title track. All right, here we go.
The nightingale is singing, the healing has begun. The bells of freedom ringing, welcome in the dawn. The light of hope is beaming, challenging the sun. Sing, nightingale, sing. Let me hear the voices shouting to the sky. Grateful hallelujah, redeemed and sanctified. With bold determination to keep the dream alive. Sing, nightingale, sing. From the top of the mountain to the bottom of the wishing well.
Billy and I are discussing when to fade. We're trying to be professional.
We didn't want to. No, I was wanting to just play it. I was getting into it, but we had to talk though. Okay.
Well, it's a little sneak peek, and that's the title track of the new. Is it an album? It's an EP, right? an EP?
Well, I don't know. It's 7 songs, so
all right.
I don't know where that.
It's in between. It's a mini album or an EP. We don't know, or an extended single. We don't know what the lingo is, sir. But
it's funny. I put out Spirals Volume 1 and Volume 2 last year, and Volume 1 was 5 songs, and it got calculated on Spotify as an EP, and then Volume 2 had 7 songs, and it got qualified as an album. So interesting.
It's all a matter of interpretation. Yeah.
I guess so.
My wife Elise and I were privileged enough to go see the Donna Summer musical, which you, I guess, wrote, produced, and it was fantastic. It was on Broadway, and it was a really touching ode to Donna and her music, and really, in fact, the part that you played in that too. Can you tell us a little bit about the musical? Is there going to be a second life for that, do you think? What's happening?
Sure. Yeah. Well, the musical, I was an executive producer on the musical, and I was in there all the way, and basically, fighting for things.
Yeah.
But Broadway is a different venue. It's a different world. And it has its own rules. And I was certainly a novice. I was definitely in somebody else's world, and I had never, done anything like that before. So we had a great director. His name is Des McAnoff, and we had great producers.
Yeah, he's very well known. He's done a lot of major shows, has he not? Yeah.
He's a Tony Award winner.
Yeah.
And super talented, and Des has become a friend of mine. But we had I had differences of opinion with him along the way, and the thing is on Broadway, the director is King.
Yes.
And so, anyway, the musical was, did well on Broadway, and it's on the road. It starts back up it was on tour in the States when COVID struck, and it picks back up in November.
That's fantastic.
And it's going to be coming to a town near you, really, over the course of the next year or so.
That's fantastic.
Cool. I hope it comes.
Yeah, go see it.
This way.
It comes this way.
We also had a touring company in Brazil that got shut down because of COVID as well, and I don't know when that'll pick back up. But yeah, the show has a life. It has a life. It's going to go to the UK. It's going to tour the world, So I'm very happy that I was able to accomplish that.
That's fantastic.
What a great tribute.
When I saw, Donna's Marquee on Broadway, the first time I saw it, I just, fell apart. It was like, it was something that, she really wanted. Anyway, I was happy that was able to happen.
Now, how long was the run on Broadway?
It was on Broadway for less than a year, so I think it was like 9 months, I think.
All right.
Something like that.
But what's remarkable, Bruce, is that you've made inroads into all these different mediums. I mean, obviously, the music world and the world of movies and films. You're working with animation and these videos, and I got mumble mouth. The theatrical world. So you really are multifaceted and quite the Renaissance man, let's say, right? Yeah, come on.
Well, like I said earlier, I've had a long and interesting career, but my heart of all that I do is I'm a songwriter. That's who I am at my soul, and that's where I know who I am is. So it's always I've had to juggle different aspects of my life, but the heart and soul of who I am is a songwriter, and that's what I get up every day and hope to do. And
you can't take that out of a person either.
Yeah, no, it's I consider it my calling. That's how I view it. So anyway, so yeah, but so new records and videos. I got to get it back out there and
you're going to tour again?
Doing some shows again.
Are you looking forward to that?
I am, because like I said, I was developing myself to a certain point, and it was, Colin Blunstone, the last tour that I did with him, he was really helpful to me in helping me understand how to expand who I am and what I do on stage, and what helped me to understand what people want to hear and what they like, so now I'm curious to get back out there, and I haven't been one of those guys who's done like 100 million Zooms over the course of COVID. So I did quite a few early on, and then I kind of, as I got into making the record, I my focus just shifted into making the record, and making the record was fun. I wanted to make a record that was lighter than the other records I had been making, because when I picked this up, I was coming out of a period of loss and grief, and I had to write my way through that and come out of it, and then I met someone new and I fell in love, and I'm writing about that, so here I was in Milan, and so basically how I made the record was I did all the vocals here, and I did my acoustic guitar here, and maybe an idea for a keyboard part, or a couple of songs I did keyboards as well. But then I emailed all that to my producer, Randy Ray Mitchell, in Los Angeles. And we went back and forth a little bit. But it was fun for me. I went back a little bit in terms of my musical approach to this, because I think this record is a little bit poppier. I kind of started this, whole thing of, guitar and Bruce. I had to build it up from there. So, as I've done these 4 or 5 CDs, I've kind of been experimenting of just Bruce and guitar and building up around that. And this record is much the same, except that conceptually, I wanted it to be lighter, because I just felt like, we've had a lot going through COVID and all this, and and I'm personally, emotionally in a different place, and so I got to revisit more harmonies than I had in the past. I have a history of harmony with growing up in Brooklyn and coming out of the doo-wop era, and all of that, and and Brooklyn Dreams was a vocal group, so I got to play a little bit more with myself, doing harmonies, and I enjoyed doing that, and so I'm curious to see how this record gets received by people, because I hope that I didn't make too much of a left turn. I think that the soul is still there, and the honesty, of course, is there, and it's just a little bit of a lighter record, I think. But I saw, like Nightingale is a social conscious song. There's another one called All Hands, which deals with some social issues, and But anyway, I'm rambling.
But the first single is that In Shadowland? Is that going to be the first single?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be the first. It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be the single that they're going to go after radio or whatever on. But it's going to be the first song that appears from this record. It's the first instant brat track or whatever they call it. I don't know. That'll show up with the video, and then I think there'll be another song with a video a few weeks after that, and then the album comes. Some point September, October.
Let's play a little bit of In Shadowland here.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
All that is real to me, becoming who you pretend to be, the ghost-inspired fantasy is dealing in illusion, line drawn through reality, a call so loud it's deafening, the seed of possibility is crying for attention in Shadowland, where all the mysteries hide and the soul of man can shine in silhouette, where dreams collide into black and white, in a light that burns brighter than fire, spark into a flame, flame into a blaze, burn into the country of forever, spark into a flame, flame into a blaze, welcome to the woods ever after, in Shadowland, in Shadowland, in Shadowland.
That's beautiful. What a beautiful song.
That's great through the headphones here. I wish everybody could hear what
We're listening through the headphones. It sounds fantastic. And both in this song and the other song that we played, your vocals are so heartfelt and sincere and emotional. The commitment to the material, to the music is really obvious in that,
Thanks, Lee.
I personally like the direction you've gone with it. Your sound on this one. I mean, I've been listening to your stuff along to some degree. When we're so busy, we hear so much stuff. But I really like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the wordsmith, Lee, so I just.
Well, you're
if I don't like something, I don't comment. But just for me to say that,
but you're a songwriter, so you know your stuff. And out of curiosity, Bruce, I know that your music is infused with all these emotions and thoughts and passions. But do you set aside a time to write songs, or does the muse just sort of come to you out of the blue? And you have to catch it. How does it work with you?
Well, what I try to do when I'm, especially when I'm here in Milan, because I don't have a whole lot. I don't have a network of people here, and my wife is a gallerist, and she is gone all day at the gallery, and so. I just try to make a habit of wherever I am when I can to get up in the morning and just pick up my instrument, either go to the piano or pick up the guitar and just start to sing. And in those, I find that and I'm ready with my phone to record. If I get a glimpse of something that I feel is inspired, or a line that I like, something, and then I try to I try to work to develop it. Sometimes I'm trying to understand, okay, what are you trying to say here? And at the same time, like right now I'm in this place where, once you complete an album and the record is ready to come out, it's its own kind of limbo, I find, creatively, because, in one sense, I'm depleted because I've said a lot of what I had to say. And so now I'm hungry for some ideas, and at the same time, I know that I have to live a little bit, because, in order to write, you have to live, you have to listen, you have to, care about the world, care about other people, and find things that, charge you, so I like to, subconsciously, digest things, ingest things into my psyche, so that when I have these moments when I begin to write, that I'm drawing on something that has some life to it, and then, so then the other shift of the songwriter is then there's the craft of it, the craft side of writing a song. So it's a combination of those elements. But I do try to get up, in these days and hit it and see where I am.
Yeah. Well, you're most successful, and your modus operandi seems to work very well, because the music that emerges, as I said before, it's just very heartfelt and sincere and not fickle, and a lot of stuff that you hear these days, it's all about the dancers and the visuals, and you know what, you want to know something that I find amusing? Mm-hmm. It's that as big as Donna was, and Brooklyn Dreams, Brooklyn Dreams got labeled, we started off, our first record, we were on Millennium. And then once I got, once the Brooklyn Dreams, got involved with Donna, our next record was on Casablanca. Casablanca just brought us over, and we were instantly cast into this dance world thing, which we were cool with. Early on, with Brooklyn Dreams, and kind of what we did in Bad Girls as well is, trying to infuse a little bit of a rock element, with R&B and with dance. I forgot where I was going. No, but we were saying the mix of showbiz and visuals and trying to make it real.
Oh, but I was going to say, in those days, dance music was a struggle to get played. I know, it's like, it wasn't given respect. It was a struggle to get played. Neil had a fight for, at some point it took over the airways for a period of time, and then it fell out of favor again, and then you couldn't get anything played on the radio dance wise again, and so it's kind of funny to me that all that. It's just a bit of irony, that basically it's dance music that's all over the radio, pop music anyway. It's all, but even what we tried to do with dance music was write songs. Bad Girls is it's a comment on, it's a comment on the street, it's a comment on, the lives of these girls that are living on the street, so, even in those, we tried to write really good songs and still make them dance songs and still make them rock, disco got, there were so many cheesy dance records at the time that, disco got labeled in a funky way, but our commitment always was to write really good songs.
And you succeeded.
First Brooklyn Dreams album, there's a song which I was consider in a sense the predecessor to Bad Girls. It's a Brooklyn Dream song called Street Dance, and our guitar player is a guy named Snuffy Walden, and
very
Snuffy
famous,
He went on to great success as a TV, The West Wing, and doing the music for all that.
Yeah,
but we had a pretty rocking band. It was really a combination of rhythm and blues and rock. Texas is a Snuffy is a Texas blues guitarist. So it was an interesting blend. We were always, I think if one other thought that I have is that the thing for me growing up as an artist, coming up in the time that I came up with in the mid '60s. It was a time of when you, as an artist, sought to have your own sound, and that is something that kind of I always strove for, and so frequently what happens by doing that is you land in no man's land. So like with Brooklyn Dreams, we were, three white guys that were trying to, that were singing black, R&B infused music. So where's the home,
Yeah. Well, radio likes to typecast people. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why even when I started, being solo Bruce singer songwriter, I wanted to build it up from just the foundation of me and the guitar, and I've done that for a little bit now, and so I guess I can move a little bit more forward with it.
Well, Bruce, you've had an amazing career, and you're still prolific as ever, and we'll all be looking forward to this new EP album, whatever you want to call it, called Ode to a Nightingale. And thank you for being a part of the soundtrack of our lives, really, in a very real sense.
Yeah, we're going to have to go. We're going to have to do this again.
We're going to have a part two. But it's
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back down there and getting at the station and doing a night and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, of course, COVID shut us down. So we're kind of it's been rough, but we're back up and running. So let me know when you're heading this way.
Yeah.
Definitely will.
And
appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Bruce. And again, you're a friend, and I'm proud to call you a friend, and really admire you and appreciate you.
Yeah, actually hang out until we stand by. We'll just let's sign off here, and we'll chat just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big thanks to Bruce Sudano. Thanks, man. We really appreciate you. And my co-host, Lee Zimmerman. By the way, check out Lee's book, Americana Music, Voices, Visionaries, and Pioneers of an Honest Sound, now available on Amazon. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to My Backstage Pass on your favorite platform. We'll see you next time. Happy trails.
Bye, everybody.